begin. Bereshit chapter 3, verse 1, from the beginning. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah has made. Yah has made him. And he said unto the woman, Yea, has Yah said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah has said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. For Yah doeth know that in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to desire, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And I'll stop right there. Go back in verse 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah has said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. Okay, now he's trying to be trickster. You shall not surely die. For Yah do know that in the days that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Wisdom. Gods. That's what we're talking about. That's where the gods came in at. Knowing good and evil. Think about it. Good and evil. Remember I said that Yah image, Yah only gave what Yah want us to know when we was in the Garden of Eden. That's it. We will suffice with that. We should have been satisfied with that. But when Satan came, Satan knew that when he could defile her and she become defiled, Satan knew that she couldn't stay there no more. If Satan got kicked out, you got to get kicked out. You know what I'm saying? But Satan was Melchizedek already. So Satan was trying to be God. He already got 1/3 already. That wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? Think about 1/3. 1/3 of the stars of the sky. If you think about the stars of the sky, you can't count the stars of the sky. So you know there's more of a trillion or billion stars, galaxies. So you think about all the Melchizedeks. Think about all the Melchizedeks that went on Satan's side. That's a lot. 1/3. That wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. That's not enough. Satan said that's not enough. Satan greedy. So when Satan went, he went to the image of Yah. Despiteful, brother Fabian. Like next door. Despiteful, evil. Now that's evil right there. That's the image of Yah. And he want to taint that too. That's evil. Look like he's trying to get back at Yah. You know what I'm saying? So he know, if I'm kicked out, your image is going to be kicked out of the garden. So he made them gods. How he made them gods? Because Satan had a plan. All right? So he tamed it down. So now there's no more barriers around men and women now. So they're outside the garden now. All right? Now, this Satan Melchizedek, came down to be with women. Let's go. First, let's go to Ezekiel first. Let's go to Ezekiel 28, then we'll go 1 Thessalonians. We're talking about Satan real quick. Then we go to Melchizedek. I'm jumping quick on this. I'm sorry. I'm going too fast. Let's go to Ezekiel 28. We're talking about Satan. All right? And then for Satan, we're going to talk about the ones that, watchers that came down. Ezekiel 28. All right. Ezekiel 28:15-16. Thou wast perfect in thy way for the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in you. By the multitude of your merchandise they have filled the midst of you with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Yah, and I will destroy you, O covered cherubim, from the midst of the stones of fire. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. Thou hast corrupted your wisdom by reason of your brightness. I will cast you to the ground. I will lay you before kings, that they may behold you. Thou hast defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquities, by the iniquity of your traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of you, and it shall devour you, and I will bring you to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold you. All right. Remember I told you that was Satan that found iniquity in him? He was perfect. Adam and Eve was perfect. Satan was perfect. So Satan said, well, if I can't be perfect, then your creation can't be perfect either. Remember, Satan was created too. All right? Y'all created Satan, so y'all created us in his own image. So hey, I'm going to need to defile them. And that's how he defiled them. Remember when he said you were perfect in all your ways from the day that I was created. We were perfect in all our ways. And everything. Adam was perfect in all that ways. Because he created him. He made woman from Adam. In all that ways, y'all created them. Until he found sin in them. How did he find sin in them? Because Eve took the bite of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then he gave it to Adam. And he took a bite also. Then both of them was naked. Naked because they were sin. They were separated from Yah. Separated from Yah. We were separate. We still separate if it weren't for Yeshua. That's what I was talking about. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. Come on. I ain't going to hold y'all too long. I'm trying to get the book of the Apocrypha. Yeah, I got the Apocrypha today. I'm so happy. I like when I get the Apocrypha into the sermon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like when I get that Apocrypha in there. You go, sir. Going to 1 Thessalonians. Excuse me, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Read 7. It says right here, let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called of Yah. Think about it. Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called of Yah, of that is worship, so that he, as Yah, sitteth in the temple of Yah, showing himself that he is Yah. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. The mystery, we already know that is the mystery of iniquity. Satan is the mystery of iniquity. Satan began iniquity. That is the mystery. You want to know where sin? They want to talk about the aliens that came down. That's the mystery right there. And I was always wondering, what is an alien? Is that true? Aliens, when I was little. You know, we were watching the movies and the comic books and all that stuff. I know what alien is now. Alien is the fallen watchers. Alien is Satan and his posses. The imps. The ones that went in, the sons of men that went into women. Those are the aliens that came down and gave the wisdom. That's why you need to read the book of Enoch. That's why they took the book of Enoch out in the 4th century. I understand that now. I learned that last night. I was trying to learn something last night, bro. Brother Faithful, man, they had my eye, man, on that, man.
Yeah, the funny thing is, too, what's going to get a lot of people, where they say the aliens coming, they're going to come exactly that way, in spaceships, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to fool you. And that's what's going to get a lot of Christians when they do.
There you go. Come on.
When they do arrive, just like
Good, come on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Stuff like that. And I'm reading that, man. You know, and it's crazy, man. The fourth generation, Rome came in the scene. You know what I'm saying? First century, taking a Enoch out. Then once they took that out, they start reading that. They don't know. We were ignorant. We do not know. That's why I was wondering what's this aliens doing? What is going with this alien stuff? Now I know what aliens are.
Like you said, they've been conditioning it since the 1930s.
That's what I'm saying.
When the time comes, you know, Christians will be like, but, and
there you go. And I'm saying that he opposed himself. Satan wanted to be worshipped. Satan wanted to be worshipped. And that's what he's doing. That's why he had these evil demons and stuff. That's why you get all these different gods, these different religions, and these different churches going on. They don't worship the true Yah. That's why he says, don't worship none other before me. None in the heavens above. Don't make no thing, no images in the heavens. And that's what they're doing, making images in the heavens to worship them. You know, idols on land or under earth. They're making these things so they can remember the images that came from Shamarine up in the heavens. You fall in, so they make it on the earth so you can worship them. That's what y'all's telling them. But that's what I'm trying to get at. This is what Satan wanted from the beginning. Satan is to say, if I can defile y'all's image, then that means they can worship me. I'm trying to tell you, Satan was greedy, man. He already got 1/3 of the Melchites. Now you want the image of Yah. Okay, let's go. Genesis chapter 6. Let's go. All right, I still want to get to the book of Enoch. Still want to get to the book of Jasher. All right? Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 to 6. Genesis chapter, chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 to 22, I'll read. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of on the ruts, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took them wives of all which they choose. And Yah said, my spirit should not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days should be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days. Also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every image and every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. And he repented that Yah, that he had made man on the earth. And it grieved him at his heart. And Yah said, I would destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and every creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yah. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man, and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with Yah. Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupted before Yah. The earth also was corrupted before Yah, and the earth was filled with violence. And Yah looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his ways upon the earth. All flesh, except Noah. All flesh. And Yah said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Through them. Well, who was talking about through them? We'll get to that. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. With the earth. Make you an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make it an ark. And thou shalt pitch it with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubit, and the breadth of 50 cubit, and the height of 30 cubit. And window shalt thou make to the ark, and in that cubit shalt thou finish it above. And in the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lowered second and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I do bring a flood of water upon the earth, destroy all flesh wherein the breath of life. For under heaven and everything that is in the earth shall die, everything. But with you will I establish my covenant, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons and your wives and your sons' wives with you. And on every living thing of flesh, two of every sort shall thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with you. And shall be male and female, of fowls and after every kind, and the cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, two of every sort shall come unto you to keep them alive, and take you unto you on all floods, and of you of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to you. It shall be for food for you and for them. This did Noah according to all the command, all that Yah commanded him, so did he. All right. I read the whole chapter to know that Yah was going to destroy the earth. Why was God going to destroy the earth? Because of what the sons of Yah did. They went into women and made great men a statue of them, and they made the whole world wicked. They made the whole world do violence, and on their heart was only evil continue. So they was doing this. They was teaching men wickedness. And they were teaching men wickedness. The whole earth got contaminated of wickedness, evil, violence. Where it says in the Apocrypha, they cried out to Yah how much wickedness, how much bloodshed it was. We're going to talk about that. That's why Yah destroyed the whole earth. It said, repentant man, that he, man, it was in vain. He thought it was vain that I made an image of Yah. You know what I'm saying? Because what Hasatan did. You know what I'm saying? Hasatan destroyed his whole world. That's why you only found Noah righteous in his sight. Grace, one family, and a line of Enoch, Methuselah, Noah. He still had a line from Seth that was righteous. Y'all still had a people that loved him. And he brought those people and put them in the ark. They built the ark, and he sent them away. He flooded the whole earth and drowned the whole earth. And while he drowned it, he had to drown the Nithiums, the giants of the land, that had that spirit that was killing everything. And those spirits, they had no body, so they would stay. There was this walking to and fro the earth. And we'll talk about that too. Y'all are going to start all over. Let's go to Enoch. Chapter 67. Well, let's go to chapter 10. And we go from there to Jasher. These are the last scriptures out of the Torah and the Bible. But I'm going to go and talk about these real quick. I want to talk about the 9, well, I say the 21s. I'm going to call them the 21s. They want to talk about the 9. And you know what I learned too, Brother Favor, the Big Dipper, which I know, that's the stars they be looking at. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I said, oh, look at the Big Dipper. I was so happy because I found Melody King. Growing up, man, that's about the only stars I knew, bro, growing up. I didn't know the constellation there. I wasn't no stargazer, no look at star. When I was talking about the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, I was kind of happy because I found that. You know what I'm saying? How to be finding the beast and all the other different signs of the zodiac signs and all that. I didn't look at all that. I didn't understand all that. I'm kind of glad I didn't understand that.
I don't look at them.
But you know, the Big Dipper, I can find that.
I know where the Big Dipper is. Because it goes north.
Okay, thank you. So now I learned something on that too. But I was happy to find that, you know. But those are the stars that was gazing at, looking for the evil Melachis, man. Let's go to Enoch chapter 10, and we're going to do some reading here. Bear with me, and I'm just trying to catch up where I'm at. Enoch chapter 10, you can probably read chapter 12, 13, 14. Enoch chapter 6, 7, 6, 8, 6, 9, I'm going to get to them. Enoch chapter 10. Then said the Most High, that the Kadesh great one spake, and sent Uriel to the sons of Lamech, and said unto him, go unto Noah, and tell him in my name, hid yourself. Reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the world, the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved from all the generations of the world. And again, Yah said to Raphael, bind Azazel, hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is the Dudel, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. And on that day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and taught their sons. There you go. That's Azazel. I read in one of the fallen watchers. See how y'all did him? See how he was teaching the sons? His sons. That his sons would teach the men on the earth. Wickedness. You see that? Go ahead. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that they were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. Ascribe all sin. Gabriel said to Yah, proceeding against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of the fornications, and destroy the children of the fornications and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth, and send them once against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle, for length of days shall they not have, and no request that their fathers make of you shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf, for they have hope to live in eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And Yah said unto Michael, go bind Simjazah and his associates, who has united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. That's the one, that's the main one. And with their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones. Bind them fast for 70 generations in the valley of the earth, to the day of their judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment, and to the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from therefore be bound together with them to the end of all generations. And whosoever be condemned and destroyed will from therefore be bound together with them. And guess with them? Some like us, who are not doing the will of Yah, will be going with them. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobates and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Look at that. They have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. Let the plant of righteousness and truth appear. This is what Yah was doing. This is what Yah was doing. He was destroying all the wrong, the wickedness. Let it end. Verse 16, and it shall prove a blessing, the work of righteousness, and truth shall be planted in truth, and joy forevermore. That's what Yah had to do. Yah had to reconstruct. Thank you, Yahuwah. That's what he was doing, Noah. Reconstruction. And all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. And there shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all planted with trees and be full of blessings. And all desirable trees will be planted on it. And they shall plant vines on it. The vines which they plant thereon shall yield vine and abundance in all. And as for all the seeds which are sown thereof, each measure of it shall bear of thousands. And each measure of olive shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleansest thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godliness, and all uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from off, and upon the earth, destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall adoration and shall praise me. See what I'm saying? Praise me. Why y'all said praise me? Because they weren't praising him when the wickedness was on the earth. They were praising all, Azel and Sazajah. They were praising them. And then their children, their offspring was they praising. They were not even praising y'all. There was so much wickedness on the earth. And that's what I'm saying. And another thing I'm going to tell you about the great flood. Everybody talks about the great flood. All these people, all these nations, they knew there was a great flood. We know it was of Yah. And talk about Noah. They talk about the time of that great flood. That's why I love that when they talk about that. That makes me saying Yah is not a liar. I love that when they talk about that. You know, that's what they was talking about, that great flood. Verse 20. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send upon it from generation to generation and forever. In those days, chapter 11, open the store of chambers of blessing which is in the heavens, so as send them down upon the earth over the works and the labors of the children of man, and truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world and throughout all the generation of men. And before this thing, Enoch was hidden, verse chapter 12. And no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden and where he abode that had become of him. And his activity had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And Enoch was blessed of Yah, master and of king of the ages. And lo, the watchers called me. Enoch the scribe said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteous, go declare the watchers of the heavens, who have lifted up the high heavens, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done of the children of the earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. You have wrought great destruction on the earth. This is what the watchers did. You have wrought great destruction on the earth, and you shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin, and so much as they delight themselves in their children. See, they delighted their offspring. They loved their children. Look at the watchers, man. They love their children. The number of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament. And they shall make supplication unto eternity, but mercy and peace shall not attain. They ain't get no mercy and peace. And Enoch went and said, Azel, you shall have no peace, and severe sentence has gone forth against you to put you in bonds. And you shall not have toleration nor request granted to you because of your unrighteousness which thou hast taught, and because of all the works of godliness and unrighteousness and sin which thou hast shown men. That's where all the wisdoms came. That's when I told you about gods. You tell Eve, and you're going to be like gods. This is where they came like gods. Her offspring. We are offspring of Eve. This is where we became like gods, because of what they done taught men. Azrael and Sajazah, you know what I'm saying? They done taught us wickedness. That's why they want to worship other gods, make themselves gods. Then, verse 3, and I went and spoke unto them all together, and they were all afraid. Think about the Melachis being afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. These Melachis are afraid. And they besought me to draw up a petition from them that night, find forgiveness to read their petition in the presence of Yah of Shamarim, for from thenceforth they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to Shamarim for shame of their sin, for which they had been condemned. You think about that. You know, we can't even look before Yah. We can't even bow down. We have to bow our face with it. Think about every time even Musa came to the burning bush, bowed down. Jasher, he came to. Yahshua came to. Bow down his face before Yah. You know what I'm saying? King David, Solomon, the priest, when the glory came down, they bowed down before Yah. Now, look at these Melachis. Ezra, Shabbat, man, they couldn't even look at Shamarim for that sin they done did. They had to go to Enoch, a man. They went into a man, now they had to come to a man as a scribe to ask for forgiveness for Yah. Because they couldn't even look before Yah. That sin, that shame that I put upon them, that wickedness that they did. That's why people think they're going to see Yah today when they still in their wickedness. That's a lie. You know, they continued in their fornication, they continued in adultery, they continued getting high and drinking and fooling around on the things of the earth. And they think they're going to go to heaven? To Shamarine? They think they're going to be in a place with Yah? If these guys, man, did all the wickedness that they did, can't get to Shamarine, what do you think that you think you're going to get to Shamarine? Talking about Yah is okay with this. You're lying to yourself. Think Yah is all right with this. Come on. Verse 7, I went afar off and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the southwest of the Hermon, and read their petition till I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and a vision fell down upon me. And I saw a vision of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me. And I too tell it to the sons of Shami, and replying and permitted them. And when I awake, I came to them, and they were all sitting together. These little kids sitting together, weeping in Bethlehem, which is between Lebanon and Sisera, and their face covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep. And I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimitive the heavenly watchers. And the books, the words of righteousness, and the reprimitive of the eternal watchers, accordance which the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. And I saw in my sleep, which I was now saved, with a tongue of flesh and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One hath given to men to converse therewith, and to understand with the heart. And as he was created and given to man the power of understanding the words of wisdom, so hath he created me also, and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of Shamarine. I wrote out your petition in my vision, and appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted until you throughout all the days of eternity, and that your judgment has been fully passed unto you. Yeah, your petition will not be granted to you. And from henceforth you shall not ascend into the Shamarine until all eternity. And in bonds on the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all days of the world, and that previous you shall have been the destruction of your beloved sons. You have been destruction of your beloved sons. You shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petitions on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own. Even you shall weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writing which I have written. And the vision has shown to me this. Behold, in that vision cloud invited me in the midst of in a sermon, and summoned me. And the course of the stars and the lightning spread and hastened me. And the wind and the vision caused me to fly and lift me upward and bear me into Shamarine. And I went until and I drew nigh to a wall which is built of crystal and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire and drew nigh to a large house which was built of crystals, and the walls of the house were like porcelain floors made with crystal, and the groundwork was of crystal, and the ceilings was like the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubims, and their heavens were clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and it portal blazed with fire. And I entered into the house, and I was hot as fire and cold as ice. There was no delight of life therein. Fear covered me, and I trembled, God, behold upon me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face, and I beheld a vision. And lo, there was a sound, a second house, greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flame of fire. And in every aspect as it excelled in splendor, and the magnificence of extent that I cannot describe to you is splintered and it extended, and its floors was of fire, and above it were lightning and path of the stars, and the ceiling was flaming fire. And I stood, and I looked and saw therein a lofty throne, and the appearance was as crystal, and the wheels there was a shining sun, and there was a vision of cherubim, and from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And a great glory sat thereon, the great Lord, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter or could behold his face by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flames of fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw nigh him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. 10,000 times 10,000. Yet he stood, yet he need no counselor. And the most holy ones who were nigh to him did not leave by night nor depart from him. And until then I have been prostrated on my face, trembling, and Yah called me with his own mouth and said to me, Come hither, Enoch, hear my words. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me, and he made me rise up, approach the door, and I bowed my face downward. And he answered and said to me, I heard your voice, his voice. I heard his voice. Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man, a scribe of righteousness approaches here, and hear my voice, and go and say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent you to intercede for them, you should intercede for men, and not men for you. Wherefore have you left your high, holy, and eternal heaven, and laid with woman, and defiled yourself with the daughters of men, and taken to yourself wives, and done like the children of the earth, and begotten giants as your sons. There you go, begotten giants. That's what I want to get at. These begotten giants. And remember again, verse 3. Wherefore, this is what y'all saying. Wherefore have you left the high and holy eternal heaven, these the watchers, and laid with women, and defiled yourself with the daughters of men, and taken to yourself wives, and done like unto the children of earth, and begotten giants as sons. This is what y'all saying. And thou, you are holy, spiritual, living eternal life. So you will live eternal life. You have defiled yourself with the blood of women. Blood of women. And y'all forget, women were defiled because of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They were defiled. And as the children of men had lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do you, to who died and perished. They died and perished. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and beget children by them, and thus nothing might be wanting to them on the earth. But you were formerly spiritual. This is what y'all saying. Y'all straight rebuke with them. But you were formerly spiritual, living eternal life, immoral, from all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you. For as for the spiritual ones of the heavens is their dwelling. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. And on the earth shall be their dwelling. And that's where you get your imps, your demons. That's where you got. That's where the nine comes from. That's where the aliens come from. You know what I'm saying? The aliens left them on the earth. The aliens that left the watchers, left the evil spirits on the earth for you to worship Pharaoh, Nimrod. You know what I'm saying? That's where they got their strength from. Their powers to rule over men. Especially Pharaoh at the days. Evil spirits are produced, verse 9, chapter 15. Produced from their bodies, because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and a primal origin. Remember I talked about origin? They shall be evil spirits on the earth. Evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of Shamrim, and the heavens shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits on the earth, which were born upon the earth, on the earth shall there be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflicted, oppressed, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, nevertheless hunger or thirst, and cause offense. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. That's what's going on. They don't need to eat, drink, live. They don't have all that. We got to. But what did y'all say? They're going to flip. This is what y'all said. You know what I'm saying? They say they're going to rise against the children of men and cause women, and against the women, because they proceed from them. These giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, work destruction on the earth, cause trouble. That's what they do to us. See, you want to know what the evil, you want to know what the aliens done did? That's what's going on to the earth today. Wickedness. That's what y'all told me to read Ephesians chapter 2. The course of the world. The evilness, the wickedness. That's why we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against high principalities and wicked places. That's what we fight. Like you said, Brother Faith says, she's evil next door. Yes, that's a principality. I fight against principality. I don't see the wickedness now. I know what I got to fight. I ain't not scared to fight that. All right? Let's go to chapter 67. I just want to show you a little bit what the sons of men, sons of gods came down, and they produced the wickedness on the earth, spiritual wickedness on the earth. They should not go to Shabbat. They're going to be right here. The other ones, the watchers, they are bound and chained. But the offsprings or the wickednesses on the earth, they are spirits on the earth. They cause men trouble. But what they want to do, they cause men to worship them. And that's what they worship them. That's where they want to be worshipped. Chapter 67. Excuse me. Book of Jasher. Oh yeah. 67. All right. In those days, Yah, the word of Yah came unto me and said to me, Noah, your lot has come before me. A lot without blame, a lot of love, of brightness. And now the Melechis are making wooden buildings. They have completed that task. I will place my hand upon it and preserve it, and they shall come forth from it the seed of life, and change shall set in on that the earth will not remain without inhabitants. And I will make fast your seed before me forever and ever. And I will spread abroad those who dwell with thee, and it shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiplied on the earth in the name of Yah. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch have formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw the valley in which there were a great convulsion and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from the fiery molten metal and from the convulsion there in that place, there was produced a small sulfur, and it was connected with those waters, and that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valley proceed streams of fire, where their angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth, for the healing of the bodies, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Elohim of spirits, rocks, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, and corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord, the Elohim of spirit, none shall utter an idle word. For the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their bodies and deny the rock of Yah. And those same waters will undergo change in those days. For when those Melechis are punished in those waters, these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the Melechis ascend, these waters of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering, saying, these judgments wherewith the Melechis are judged is the testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth. Because these waters are judgment ministers to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their bodies. Therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burneth forever. Verse 68. And after that my grandfather Enoch gave me the teaching of all the secrets in the book and in the parables which have been given to him, and he put down together for me in the words of the book of the parables. And on a day Michael answered Raphael and said, the power of the rock transport and make me to tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the Melechis, who can endure the severe judgment which has been executed, and before which they melt away. And Michael answered again and said to Raphael, who is he whose heart is not softened concerning it, and whose rein are not troubled by this word of judgment, is gone forth upon them because of those who have thus led them out. And it came to pass, when he stood before the Elohim spirit, Michael said thus to Raphael, I will not take their part under the eye of Yah, for Yah of rock has been angry with them, because they do as if they were Yah. Therefore all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever. For neither Melechis nor man shall have his portion in it, but alone they have received their judgment forever and ever. Again, this is Yah's talking, about how your conduct before Yahuwah. Talking about this book that was given, the destruction, the judgment of the Melechis. Now, if your heart didn't tremble, that means you had a pride heart. Even Enoch's heart trembled. Anybody read that book? If I read that book, I was supposed to tremble. If I didn't tremble, then you already know where my heart was at. You already know where I was at. My heart was with the fallen angels. I was with the kings that was destruction, that want to do evil on the earth. You already know how my heart was at. Verse 69. And after this judgment, they shall terrify and make them no trouble, make them to tremble, because they have shown this to those who dwell on the earth. And behold, the names of these Melechis, and these that are names, that first of them is some Jazel, second is Artiphaka, the third is Arman, the fourth is Kobaka, the fifth was Torel, the sixth was Rachel, the seventh was Dajel, the eighth was Nequel, the ninth was Bugwel, the 10th was Azel, the 11th was Amros, the third was Betujel, the 13th was Barusjel, the 14th was Hananel, the 15th was Terrell, the 16th was Sepazel, the 17th was Terrell, the 18th was Terrell, the 19th was Terrell, the 20th was Ramiel, the 21st was Azel. And these are the chief of their angels, and their names, and their chief ones over 100 and over 50 and over 10. The names of the first is Joel, the second one who led away the sons of God, the sons of Yah, and brought them down to the earth and led them astray through the daughters of men. That's Joel. The second name was Abizel, and parted as the holy sons of Yah, evil counsel, and led them astray, so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. That's Abizel. And the third was named Gadriel, and he who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and had laid astray Eve, and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, and shields and the coats of mail, and the swords for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. And the fourth was Peneruel. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secret of the wisdom, And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, and thereby many sinned from eternity into eternity until this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. Now that's powerful right there. I'm talking about all these metal keys that taught men wickedness. That's why I'm reading this. This is what these metal keys did before the flood. Remember that. That's why they was glorifying these different gods. And I was watching this thing last night. You talk about all these different places of the earth. Talking about the Ezak, talking over there in India, and over there in China. I'm talking about all these places where before the flood, they were worshiping the same beast, the same metal keys, with the same emblems, the images and stuff. That's what he was talking about. All these statues were the same on the different locations. They was tripping out, and I was looking at this, and I was talking to y'all, and y'all was telling me, these were the watchers, man, teaching the people how to worship and how to make these things so they won't forget. And I didn't find a place in Enoch, in the book of Jasher, I think the book of Jasher, Enoch, coming after the flood, they found these things, and they started worshiping again. And it's in here. I didn't get a chance to find it, but I'm going to find it, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to find it where I'm going to show it to you, where, because I was wondering, how can they worship y'all after the flood? You don't kill everything. How did they begin to worship everything again? And y'all showed me through here that after the flood, when they start, the first started being fruitful again, they started running across the old stones, the old books and stuff that have been written. And they start worshiping again. They start worshiping these gods, the aliens that sit down. That's when all the spirits, remember the spirits ain't left yet. They ain't had no host to stay in nowhere. Remember, the spirits ain't going nowhere. So now, when you start worshiping them again, the spirits start getting into you again.
And the women who had sex with the watchers, they were turned into mermaids.
Okay then, what's the name of that? I forgot.
Sirens.
Sirens. Remember I told you about the movie they're about to make on that? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you got a new movie guy. You already talked too, bro. Called Mom. It's an evil movie, man. They just made out.
I seen the trailer. Black lady.
Yeah. See, you don't tell me that. I seen that. I said, Dad, brother, flavor, man. We had that, what, a year and a half ago, you took that study? And I seen that. I said, look at this, man. They bringing more spirits on earth. By you watching that, by you seeing that, they let the spirit come out.
Yeah, a lot of them to women.
There you go. See, Brother Pedro, man, we be learning some stuff up here, bro. Keep on coming, man. You hear me, bro? And this is stuff for a year ago he taught that lesson. And now they want to show a TV show. I caught that, bro. I'm watching that, man. That night I seen that show. I said, no, man. That's wickedness, man. That's wickedness. That's wickedness, man. That's some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, that is a crazy movie.
Come on, man. All right, instruct man, go ahead. Verse 10. For men were not women, verse 11. For men were created exactly like the metal keys, to intend that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroy everything, could not have taken hold of them, but through this knowledge they are perishing through this power is consuming me. That's right. We weren't supposed to have none of that. Until we got that, we were like the metal keys. But we were not supposed to take this stuff for the evil watcher was giving us. We were not made for that. That's what happened. And the fifth name was Kazajah. This is he that showed the children of men all the wicked smiting of the spirits and demons, and the smiting of the hemorrhoids in the womb. That's where you got your abortions and stuff that is made pass away, and the smiting of the soul, the bitterness of the serpent, the smiting which befall through the noontime heat. The son of the serpent name is Tabakata. And this is the task of Kabasa, and the chief of the oath which he showed to the holy ones when he dwelt high above in glory in the name of Bagal. The angel requested Michael to show him the hidden names, and he might incarnate it into the oath, so that those might quake before the name and oath who revealed all that was in the secret of the children of men. I'm trying to be like y'all. And this is the power of this oath, for it is the powerful and strong, and he placed this oath, the Achid, in the hand of Michael. And these are the secrets of this oath, and they are strong through this oath. And Shine was suspended before the world was created, and forever. And though the earth was founded upon the waters, and from the secret recesses of the mountains come before water, beautiful waters, and from the creation of the world and into eternity, and through that oath the sea was created, and as the foundation he set forth the sands against the time of its anger, and it dares not pass before it from the creation of the world unto eternity. And though that oath are the death made fast, and abide and stir not from their place from eternity to eternity, and though that oath the sun and the moon complete their course, and deviate not from their ordinance from eternity to eternity, and though that oath the stars completed their course, and he called them by their names, and answered him from eternity to eternity, and in like manner the spirits of the water, and the winds, and all the zephyrs, and the path, and from all the quarters of the wind, and there are preserved the voices of the thunders and the lightnings, and there are preserved the chambers of the hail, and chambers of the hoarfrost, and the chambers of the mist, and the chambers of the rains, and the dews, and all these believed and gave thanks before the Elohim, the spirits, and glorify him with all their power and their food and their exact thanksgiving. They thank and glorify and still the name of Elohim, the rock, forever and ever. And this oath is mighty over them, and through it, they are preserved in their path and preserved, and their course is not destroyed. And there was a great joy among them, and their blessings and glorifying strove, because the name of the Son of Man has been revealed unto them. And this is where Yeshua came. I love this where Yeshua came. And he sat on the throne of his glory, and the Son of judgment was given unto the Son of Man, and he caused the sinners to pass away, and he destroyed from off the face of the earth. And those who have led the whole astray, with chains shall they be bounded, and they assembled places of destruction shall they be imprisoned, and all their words vanished from the face of the earth, and from henceforth there shall be nothing corruptible, for the Son of Man has appeared, and has seated himself on the throne of his glory, and all evil shall pass away from his face, and the word of the Son of Man shall go forth, and be strong before Yah and rocks. This is the third parable of Enoch, and I start right there. Alright? I like that. It was a parable talking about what all the evil Melchizedek did and taught, but I like how Yah wraps it up with the Son of Man. You understand? I like how he does things like that. Alright? I'm going to start right there. I know I didn't read it, but I wanted to get this out to you. I want you all to know where the spirits came from before the flood and then after the flood. I do want to read Enoch. I do want to read Nimrod. You let me read that. If not, I'll just tell you where it's at. I do want to read that to you. Is that 69? No, that's Jasher. Y'all go ahead. I'm going to tell you where it's at. I'll let y'all read that. I want y'all to read that and do y'all some homework. Go ahead, Jasher chapter 7, Jasher chapter 9, and Jasher chapter 11. Alright? You get a chance to read that. That's talking about how Nimrod got the vestige of the clothing of Adam, and he got the power. The snake skin. Once he got the snake skin of Adam,